Okay, so I have the battery in from Tronics, and this is gonna be for my Zire 72. I'm just gonna go ahead and unseal it, but I won't take it out yet. We've got a teeny tiny connector here. That's been a pain point for a lot of people, or so I've heard, for the 72 in the past. But anyway, I've got a regular Zire 72 here with all of the blue paint scraped off, since it tends to become very gummy and sticky. Nearly all of the blue paint, I should say. So let me pop out the SD card just for safety. As you can see, it's about half charged, so... Alright. So I'm just following a guide I pulled up on iFixit off screen. I do not know how to do this, you know, by heart or anything. Do not get that impression. But the first thing we're going to do is take off these two T5 Torx screws that are at the bottom. But these aren't the only screws on the 72. Palm was kind of clever with the design, kind of frustratingly clever, and decided to hide a screw right around here underneath the label. And you have two options for this. You can either just peel off the whole freaking label, or you can cut it to reveal the spot where the screw is hiding. And I would rather cut it because there's also some holes on the sides here that are being covered, and I'd rather not deal with those being exposed personally. So I'm gonna, apparently my X-Acto decided to come loose at an inopportune time. I'm glad I don't have to put a content warning for blood on here, though. That would be pretty terrible. This is honestly the tricky part, because you kind of just have to feel for it, or at least I do. I don't know, you might have better luck than me. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. But once you get to the screw, it's pretty simple. Here we go. And I'm just gonna try and slice this all the way off, so I don't have to deal with it being like a flap or something. I think my blade is getting a little worn. I'm gonna have to replace that at some point. It's sloppy, but it'll do. The screw is exposed. As you can see, it is right there around where the Bluetooth logo is on the label, so that should help you out if you're trying to find it and struggling a little bit. So now I'm going to switch to my 00 Phillips head for this screw to take off this little plate. And let's see. But we're still not done with unscrewing things, unfortunately. You are going to want to take a plastic spudger to down here and try to lift the plate off of its resting place. I don't know, I don't remember if it's secured with glue or not. Admittedly, this might have been easier if I had taken off the label. I do know you don't want to approach it from the top. Yeah. Looking at the repair guide here, yeah, try to do it from the top is probably not the way to go. I don't know if I should try to peel back a little bit more of the sticker, or... yeah, it's not going to be loose enough to just come off on its own. I'm going to cut out a little bit more. Let's see if we can't get a little bit of a foothold underneath here. God, this thing is freaking tight. Come on. Yeah, there we go. That's what I was looking for. I don't know, I might need to actually stick the X-Acto in there if it's thin enough. Or we can try grabbing it by a hole, or there we wait. That might be the bit of leverage I need. Okay. I should have gotten out some picks. There we go. Okay. Try not to bend this. I'm trying not to bend this. Yeah, it does have some glue right here, so that's gonna make it a bit tricky at that part. You'll definitely feel some resistance. But then we have 2 more screws up here at the top, and thankfully they're just regular Phillips heads, so you don't have to swap your bit for this one. Of course, don't do what I'm doing here and placing the screws haphazardly. Do make sure you keep track of where they originally went in so that you don't damage your device when you're trying to put them back in. Now, they're different enough that you can probably just kind of go by memory, but you never know. I know my memory is not the greatest. After that, we're gonna spin the handheld around and attack it from the top. And I'm just gonna use my opening pick here and try to separate these 2 halves of the main body. It's not always easy because I know there is a cable in there that I don't want to break. Since there's some L-shaped latches, so we're gonna be watching out for that. I'm gonna keep my pick in here and run the spudger here. Woo! Being a little bit forceful, I suppose. Yeah, as you can see, the battery has not been holding up very well while I've been doing this. So this is definitely something I need to do if I want to keep using it. Let me try another opening pick. These are quite helpful. If you don't have any opening picks, you can just buy a bunch of guitar picks from any local music store, or probably a Walmart, because I was working at Walmart a while back and they were selling those. Probably should still have them. In the frickin' electronics department, because that's just kind of been co-opted into media and entertainment in general inside of Walmart. This is proving to be trickier than I anticipated. Let me see if I can really wedge this in there. There we go. Aha. Okay. So I've managed to get this side more or less completely open. So now we work our way to the bottom. That part was a lot easier. I'm just gonna keep trying to, there we go. So that part's been separated. And yeah, you do want to open this like a book because the screen is attached via a very fragile ribbon cable to the logic board. But for the purposes of a battery replacement, we are almost there. First, for safety, I'm gonna pop the screen connector off. It's just a little ZIF cable, so it just comes right up with very minimal effort. And then, I'm gonna go ahead and try to get the battery disconnected. Trying to find where exactly it separates, because obviously you don't want to pull the connector itself off the logic board and just fuck up the whole handheld. And I think my wedge point, my insertion of force point is going to be right about here. I'm very sorry that it's hard to tell. And sure enough, it comes right off. So that just leaves getting the battery itself out of here. It's probably glued onto the... Yeah, it's probably glued onto the inside of this cover. So that won't be easy. Because you really do not want to bend the battery. This is true of any rechargeable battery, really. Yeah, okay, we've got some kind of adhesive strip around it, and we got some labeling of some kind here on the inside. It's kind of been, this writing has been ruined by me peeling up the adhesive, but oh well, that's just how it is gonna be. While we're in here, let's take a look at what's inside. I'm not sure what's under this. I'm assuming this is this is a shield of some sort. This of course is our camera module, you can see. This is, I don't know if this is our CPU or not. It might be under here, actually. I think it's an Intel PXA 270 or something similar, clocked at like 312 megahertz. And then these modules here are most likely our RAM. The Zire 72 has no flash memory on board, so it is entirely RAM-based and will lose all data in memory when power is disconnected. And silly me did forget to do a backup immediately before doing this, but I did take a backup a few days ago, so I'm just gonna kind of roll with that. You can back up, of course, using HotSync, or you can back up to a SD card if you have the right software. So here's our replacement battery. I'm not even going to bother with much adhesive. I don't even know if I have some double-sided tape. It would of course be better to just have a replacement piece of adhesive just like the one that was on the original battery. But in the worst case scenario, I'm thinking that the battery is not likely to move all that much once the unit is closed. If it does, I can always get back in here and tape it down. It's a little bit smaller than the original unit, and that is kind of concerning. So we're gonna carefully line up the connector. It actually looks like should be like this, yeah. I should probably use some tweezers and wear gloves for this, honestly. I do apologize for not even mentioning that if you're following me along in real time, but that's just how it is. little bit of pressure down and it snaps right in. And it actually went ahead and turned itself on. I heard it play the startup sound. So that's wonderful. Definitely going to want to reset this after I get the screen connected and closed back up. I'm honestly surprised that it boots without a screen. Like, literally nothing. Whew. Don't drop the buttons. Alright, let's get our display attached. Just gonna do this. Try to press down on, like, exactly the center if you connect it this way. And there it is. Can't see it from that side, but the screen did light up right away. Trying to get the buttons back in place so I can close this up from the back side. Gently. Nothing else should be out of place. Might have to help it out a little bit with those tabs. There we go. Yeah, you don't want to use too much force or you might break something on the inside. Do use caution with that. I do have a screen protector on here, otherwise I would not be doing this with the spudger. Today is, let's see. May the 3rd, I want to say. And there we go. It will be a matter of time for finding out how well this battery is holding up, since I don't know if it's brand new stock, new old stock, or something else. And at any rate, we're not done. Admittedly, the rest of this is trivial. You just need to put the screws back and screw them in without over tightening. I'm just going to stop as soon as I start to feel the least bit of resistance and trust that that's gonna be good. With a little bit of evening out here. All right, it's not turning. There we go. Get the plate back in place. It's not going to be quite good as new because of our little damage to the sticker here, but it's going to be as close as I could hope for. Admittedly, getting it down over this part or under this part might be a little bit tricky. That's what I get, I guess, for trying to preserve some of the sticker. And yeah, I am gonna have to slot it in and lower it. So probably what I can do. Actually, I wasn't anticipating this being as difficult as it would be. I wonder if I need to widen my cutout. Which is, yeah, probably. What I'm going to do for now is reattach the rest of the screws to make sure the handheld is closed up tightly. And I can always put back on the cover plate later, because it's not really doing it. It's not really guarding anything from damage or whatnot. It's just there to look nice and hide some screws. So I will be making more of an effort to get it on after I stop recording this video, but this has gone on long enough. And that is one battery replacement over and done with. So now it's just time for me to restore from my backup and go on using my 72. This has been a very informal video. If you have stuck with me this far, thank you for watching. And I hope it's helpful.